Welcome back to my basement. I'm Andrews Colsefni. I'm going to get to a few video questions. Let me get that thing out of my face. Got one here from Bryce Sprung. Go ahead, Bryce.
Hey Anders, how you doing? I'm Bryce Sprung. You might have heard from me about. I'm the guy that sent that question about if there's any pictures of Quan Meld. And so, yeah, I don't know if you heard me or not, but I'm going to get to the questions anyway. Okay, so, before you released your first album, Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, I was wondering, like, you did a few shows before that, and, like, in one of those shows you did a song called May 17th, and I know that song's unreleased, and so, like, a lot of people on YouTube been asking, like, what's the point of that song, and what is the song... Well, like, what's supposed to happen on May 17th, and I was wondering if you can answer that for them. And so, my second question is, what was the rest of the track listing for the Slipknot Gently footage you just posted? And so, yeah.
Quan Meld is not Quan Meld, he's Quan Nong. Meld and Quan never had anything to do with each other. That's kind of an interesting thing that's been added as time's gone by. And May 17th, that is a song that was written by Sean. And that was just a date that some bad stuff happened in his life, and he was venting his anger through the song. And I'm pretty sure that whatever those bad things were from back then have been all sewn up. So May 17th, that's what that was about. Thank you, Bryce. Now we're going to go back to some more AJ Sweeney, crazy dude from New Jersey. He's got a few more for me. Go ahead, AJ.
Andrews Colsefni. Fucking A, how you doing, man? It's your buddy AJ again. I realized I had a few questions I didn't ask you. My first one is this. Was MFKR, at the time of its release, considered by you guys to be an album or a demo? Because in my opinion, I want to make an analogy. If I painted a picture orange, and then a couple hours later I said, at the time I wanted to paint an orange picture, but now I'm going to call that picture purple, the picture would still be orange, in my opinion. So to me, and I guess like the MFKR faithful Slipknot fans, MFKR is the debut, but I want to hear what your opinion is. So, yeah, thanks for listening.
That's a very interesting question. I don't know that any of us had ever discussed it as far as whether we viewed it as a demo or an album. I pretty much thought it was an album. It was, expensive enough and, a big enough production and enough songs on it to be an album. The fact that it was an unsigned release really doesn't make any difference. Just like the Painface Fleshcraft album, for example, that was a full-length deal, and that was an album. That wasn't a demo. A demo came out before that, and it was just a few songs on it. So, thank you for that one, AJ. Let's hear your next one.
All right, my next question is: have you ever noticed that Burton C. Bell of Fear Factory has a Slipknot logo tattooed on his arm? I did some research, and he had this logo on his arm as early as I could find, which was 1993. And I was wondering, were you guys Fear Factory fans? Or is this some sort of coincidence? Maybe Burton and you guys got the idea from the same source? Maybe source C, we'll say. Or did you guys just write up a sketch of the Slipknot logo and coincidentally it was similar to what Burton has on his arm?
That's another interesting question, dude. I don't have an answer for that. Yeah, I think we were definitely Fear Factory fans, but I didn't notice that until you just told me about it. I went and looked up online and saw it. It's like, wow, that's pretty uncanny. So the thing I've got on my leg that ended up turning into the Slipknot logo, I had never heard of it, and Joey said that was something he drew and was in his book of sketches. So that's going to be one of those things that, unless you get a hold of him, we may never know. It would be one hell of a coincidence. It's possible they both took ideas from the same source, maybe. I don't know if Joey he never said if he created it out of his own mind. He just said he sketched it, so who knows. Fear Factory and Slipknot are on the same record label, or at least were. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Fear Factory's still on Roadrunner, but good question. So it's kind of strange. The singer for Fear Factory and an old singer from Slipknot had the same tattoo for a while and didn't even know it. So, all right, what's your next one?
And my final question is this. Any updates on the new Painface record? What can we expect? Yeah, anything you got. Release dates, any new info if you have any. Thanks.
Painface updates. We are working diligently on writing material whenever we can. There's been some downtime here and there for John Hintz, our guitar player. He's getting awarded the General Douglas MacArthur Leadership Award, and he's being flown out to Washington, D.C. for that. And he's also been put on the list to be promoted to major, and that's a pretty big deal. So he's had to take some time off for things like that, and different guys have had some time that they had to take off for their family issues and whatnot. So it's pretty standard stuff. We all have our day jobs, so we fit the stuff in there where we can. But we're tentatively planning on doing a multiple volume release for the first CD, and that's in an effort to get songs out a little bit more quickly. We'll do like a compilation of volumes. The first volume will have 4 songs on it, and then a couple months later or so we'll release the second one, and a few, about one per quarter, we'll say. So about one about every 3 months. And I don't know how many volumes we'll do, 3 or 4 full of songs, and then at the end we'll have probably a compilation of all of them with all of the artwork, and a DVD to go along with it. So right now we're working on getting stuff ready for the first volume, and we will do that one first and get that one out to you. I can't give you a date on that because, I just don't like giving dates because I don't like being wrong. So, we're constantly moving forward, and we're adding some more shows. We've got we're playing about 1 show a month right now, so we have plenty of time to work on our albums. So all right, you got one last question here, even though you just said that was your last question. You lied to me. What is it?
I forgot. I had one more question. And this is kind of hard for me to ask you, Anders, being that I'm a fan, but I thought someone should finally step up and ask. Why does PENTEX suck? What has PENTEX ever done to you? Have you ever considered maybe you're the problem and there's nothing wrong with PENTEX? I think PENTEX is perfectly fine, and you just keep on going saying, PENTEX sucks! PENTEX sucks! Without any sort of real explanation. So I was wondering if you could tell us why.
What did PENTEX do to me? What did PENTEX do to everybody? PENTEX is a corporation that rapes the land and distorts humankind that I was sworn to protect. I was sworn to protect the land, not so much the humans, but the humans become very necessary in that. So, when you question why PENTEX sucks and why I have a problem with it, that means I have a problem with you. PENTEX will always suck. PENTEX will always suck!
And it's Colsefni. Fucking A, how you doing, man?